Welcome everyone to the last chance qualifiers of CECC Valorant. I'm so excited to be here casting. My name's Takeshi TK Starstorm, and joining me, of course, my co-caster Kat. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Oh, I would love to. I am so excited, Takeshi. It is a last chance opportunity for Texas. The Winthrop boys have already said they're getting ready for that Texas barbecue, but the talk is one thing. You got to put it into action.
Absolutely. And we've got some great games for you guys here today. We have two best of threes for you. Of course, coming up first, we have Winthrop University taking on Fisher Navy in our first best of three. And mind you, both of these matches are qualifier matches. The winners of both of these series will be going on to the CECC finals in Texas. It's going to be phenomenal. The second match, of course, is Siena Heights, the underdog, the 8 seed, making some March Madness magic of their own here in the CECC lower last chance qualifier gauntlet, taking on Baker College. So, Kat, you got any teams that you're really looking forward to? Do you have players to watch? Walk me through everything here.
You know, we got to give love to the teams that are in the challenger split, right? Of course. So, got to give love to Winthrop. Out in lower bracket finals of last split. So, hoping to get some gasoline in the engine here in the last chance qualifier. We've seen them for the last 2 years at CCC, so definitely a team that wants to be there again, a team that has deep bracket runs every time they're there, and a team that you'd expect with their runs in challengers, their runs in CVAL, to be at that event. So a loss here, I'd say, would be an upset, even though they are playing a solid squad like Fisher.
Yeah, and it is worth mentioning, how did these two teams get here, right? Because this first match that we have, I assume it's fair to say all eyes are on these two teams.
Yeah,
All eyes are on
absolutely.
Winthrop, all eyes are on Fisher. How did these two teams get here exactly?
Well, it's been, I'd say, an easier walk for both of these teams. Just the fact that they are so dominant. I mean, it is the 1 and 2 seed in bracket 1 for a reason. Winthrop beats Rutgers' secondary team out very early. It's a clean 2-0 for them. They beat Northeastern, which did end up being a closer series towards that second map, a 13-10 to finish it off after the 13-3 on map number 1. But still, Winthrop's going to get the job done there. A close set against Cumberland, a team that has given them some runs in leagues like the NECC and leagues like NACE. But this time around, it's Winthrop winning the day. Even after losing map 1, they come back and reverse sweep that one in a 2-0 fashion. And now they're here against Fisher, who also beat Rutgers. That one, though, happens last round instead of the first. But that's a pretty clean win for them, a 13-5, a 13-4. And the Rutgers, the 11 seed coming in, a Cinderella run for them on their own, but just could not quite get the job done. They beat Cumberland's secondary roster as well. Actually, a pretty close series there in 2-1 fashion. And then Wichita will fall to them, and Daytona will as well. That's the second to last seed coming in, so not surprised they won their round 1 bout.
Yeah, so pretty disheartening for the main thing that I would take away from all of that is pretty disheartening for Cumberland. I mean, you have your main roster and your secondary roster getting taken down by the two eventual finalists here in the last chance qualifier. So, unfortunate commiserations to them. Obviously, best of luck to you guys next year. With that being said, Winthrop and Fisher. We take a look at the map bans, the pick ban stuff. Winthrop split ban. Fisher bans Fracture. Winthrop is going to be picking Lotus. Fisher will start on the attack side. Fisher will respond by picking Icebox. So these are two maps that we see these teams are very familiar with. They played these maps. They played their respective maps in every series they've played here in the LCQ. Winthrop will be on the defense there on Fisher's pick of Icebox. Winthrop will ban Ascent. Fisher will ban Pearl, which leaves us with Haven as the decider. Do you have anything that you're looking for on these two maps in particular? Are you a fan of this pick ban? Maybe not necessarily from either the team's perspective, from a personal perspective. What do you think, Kat?
Personally, I don't know if I love the Winthrop Lotus pick out first, but I think it comes down to I don't have personally, I'll be honest, a ton of match history of recent from Fisher Navy's Lotus map, so I don't want to say it's not a situation where they do win it, though I do think, though, from what we have from them in officials and this challenger split, they've lost it 77% of the time. Only won 1 out of those 3 bouts, which is concerning to me. But then again, we're talking about what is tier 2 pro play there, right? So there could be a difference coming now into collegiate. They've also run it through this bracket. You made a good point in the green room, TK, that they ran through it in the bracket. They've played it pretty much every set and have only lost it once. And that one loss comes down to Cumberland University. So it's one that I think they expect to win. They feel like they're the better team in collegiate on this map, so I don't hate the choice. And then for Fisher, I like it a lot. They've won throughout Icebox. They have a great win on Icebox. I feel like that's the map they take. The only concern going to be then for me, Haven. Winthrop have been incredible on Haven, but it's a map everybody knows, right? So Fisher, they've got a shot.
Yeah, and coming up here into Agent Select, obviously, we're going to see some. You expect to see some relatively similar compositions from these two teams, right? On Lotus. Do you have any picks to watch? Do you have something that you like more than others? You see the Tejo and the Neon actually for Winthrop.
I'm interested to see if anything tries to match Infiltrator here. If we get a duelist bout, I don't think we will. I think we'll get more utility from Fisher instead, which then means that if Infiltrator has the ability to get in with this Neon util, they have a chance to really disrupt this game. It's obviously going to be TOs from both teams. You're not playing him in this meta, and that's simply put. He's in the game. There's no ban system. You know it's coming out. There's going to be salvos on the map, no doubt about it. So that's going to come through. Chloe's been great with the ability to still throw smokes past death, so both players looking to bring them out. And yeah, look, from your point, looking pretty standard. I think Fisher still trying to think what this duelist option is going to be, because it's played Jet pretty much throughout this entire bracket, but the Rays might sneak in here.
What do you think of the double smokes from Fisher versus the single smoke from Winthrop, and getting to obviously play the Sentinel, the Cypher, which is a little bit more stock standard? What do you make of Fisher's double smoke approach?
I actually like it a lot in terms of shutting down Neon. I think there's a lot of value in Omen rechargeables, throwing them early, right? Getting control, whether it's Mound, whether it's Root, just being able to make sure that if Infiltrator is playing in quickly, you've got the defensive capabilities to shut the rest of the team out. And so as I mentioned, Infiltrator is going to be that player that's playing in quick. You want to make sure you have an option to slow the rest of the team down at the very least, make that an easier fight for you, and make sure there's not as much utility coming back in on the back end. So I think it's a good option if you know you're not going to be able to play that same push and crash meta that they're going to play.
Excellent. Well, as we load in here with these phenomenal visuals, and we're about to get ourselves underway in round one, do you have a prediction for who's going to take this map? Obviously, Winthrop's map pick, a map that they seem very, very practiced on. It maybe if the results yesterday weren't quite indicative of their overall skill level, do you have a prediction for the series overall?
Every time I make predictions, somebody mentions me on Twitter.
All right, we will not make any predictions.
I'm
we will just play ball.
predictions.
No, we will just play ball then. All good. As we are getting ready, about 10 seconds until we load into round one here between Winthrop University and Fisher Navy. Take it away.
Oh man, I can already see it cooking. We're gonna get some early root action here. It's gonna be Link instead for Fisher, so both teams, looking to crash early. And already, it's the Neon up for full root. I like this initial setup here using TO as well to get them that extra space. That's going to be interesting to look at later into these rounds. It's an early paint shell, and Moobs caught out of B now.
It's a great bit of initial utility as Moobs finds the opening kill, but is traded back by Sogo immediately. Cuz taking down that drone, waiting very patiently at Hobbit, trying to see will he get the initial pick, but the spike has made its way over towards C, and Cuz gets the first onto Flare, waiting for the second repeak, but Nazi's going to clean him up from behind. Momiji, a little bit slow behind on the play, spots the back turn, but doesn't quite get the other kill, so Fisher at a man disadvantage, and Clove is already at 1 HP. How do you approach this retake as the headshot comes through on the flank player?
Long time coming for that Clove's going to get there. No chance for the trade. And Infiltrator, there's that Neon util. Quick slide. We'll get in for one. All that space comes off the overdrive. Able to swing through. Easy peek. All the recognition of where that player is going to be and can safely get back to Bend as well. That's an easy round picked up. It's the IGL with the defuse. Ali'll take it. And Winthrop have the pistol.
So what do you make of that round there, Kat? What do you think of how easily Fisher was able to work their way up on that B site? And do you think that will be a pattern that they go with throughout the stacking half?
Nah, definitely not. I think it comes down to just pistol around, trying to get early space. I think there's better legs in that round if they can get a bit more room. I think moves with that initial pick kind of scared them, playing towards that initial smoke, so they don't take the extra space there, which kind of ends up in Winthrop flooding. But also, they don't get any info early round, right? I like when teams default on pistol just to kind of know what the defense might be doing. Because they still haven't seen this root push yet. It's the second round in a row that Winthrop's going to run it. They'll probably run it in round 3 as well. It's Fisher just back to B. They still have no info really of where anyone's playing just yet. Plant's going to go down. It's an eco, I know, but that might have implications into the gun round.
It is surprising, actually, that Winthrop is opting fully into this retake on the B site with the close-range weaponry, right, that Fisher is rocking here, the stingers and everything, the swing out after the flash, but Winthrop with the opening kill before Win trades it back, and the trades are coming through either way. It's 3-on-3 now as Winthrop is trying to mount their attack back into the site, 2-on-2. Moves, waiting patiently. The shock coming through from Win onto the bomb, but it is stuck to half already.
And now he'll jump back on now. Moves, just has to kill one. Has done just that. Round's over. Clovis in the smoke, has it. You get all the frags for Hun, but it's just not enough to seal the rounds. The second picked up for Winthrop here. Still, we haven't seen this route control just yet. And it's a bit of a force as well from Fisher. So not a ton in the tank here. I don't even think we see a gun round. This could be a quick 4-0.
And that's about what you expect, right, when that round 2 force comes in from an economic standpoint. You mentioned that Fisher hadn't seen the full route push yet, so maybe they don't know the extent to which the Winthrop players have been getting up there, but they do hear all of that utility, right? They are close enough to know the Teo Salvos are coming through en route, the Breach Shock is likely going to be there as well, and if they're not careful, they're going to run straight into this.
They do a good job of getting this util, you mentioned, at least sound cues, so they wait for all this time. Infiltrator gonna pick up one, and that's against a lot of oppression. Looking for more off of it as well. A big stun coming through. That's great Breach gameplay. Infiltrator can't get any more. Tried to lane his way out, but nonetheless, they've got value. Blast to swing back too, but it's gonna need to be a lot more than that, especially as Ali has one on the back line. Winthrop full control here. Man, does that route execution look strong.
And as the map quiets down a little bit, Winthrop in full control of this round. It would take something monumental from Quinn and the rest of Fisher in order to see something back in here. Swings out, finds the first and the second. Look at the Guardian headshots, and all of a sudden it's a one-on-one round. We're talking about something monumental, and it looks like Fisher has found just that until the run out with the knife out, and moves will clean up cuz.
Man, you just get a bit ahead of yourself there. That's a round that Fisher really shoot their way out of. They have the chance to walk back into it, and instead they run out literally. Cuz just walks through, no check towards Link, no recognition of stairs, hoping that moves, who has been that seaside anchor, is nowhere near the rotate, and that certainly was not the case. So round 3 will go the way of Winthrop here. Still no ability to buy just yet for Fisher this round. Gonna be another Shiko. They'll bring a Guardian back out, and hey, it had value, almost won in the round last go around, so we'll see if they can do it again. And I'm surprised to not see a switch up for Winthrop here, to be honest. I figured all that util finally gets spotted, they'd move a player over. They have not. They're still holding on to that Akon.
Well, I mean, that's like Lotus 101, right? Fighting for that A-long angle as Ali takes down Blast across the map. The main advantage for Winthrop, they feel so in control of this game right now, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Early drone info, Mama G. Oh, clean work to micro adjust to that one, but Flare had the Tracer, knows exactly where that opposing Teo is going to be, and is able to nail them down. Cuz now looking to double satchel in. Nazi hears the satchel placement, has an angle here to bend, but they've ended up rotating on towards the front of sight. Oh, this trigger discipline perfect. Only able to grab one though, looking for the second. Has a lot of util to get it done, just can't quite do so. The Breach gonna shoot one back, flash turn for moves, not enough to find that frag either. Still a man advantage for Winthrop, make it more and make it the round. Flare and moves gonna combine for the final 2. It's Winthrop up 4-0.
That's about what you expected, right? We've been talking about the economy, the decisions from Fisher to force on that round 2, and so now they're finally here on their full buy, 5th round of the game here. What do you want to see coming through from Fisher's attack?
I think they do a good job in round 2 of at the very least getting util, round 3, excuse me, getting util out onto that root hold. It's a matter of working a bit more of the map on their default. They put a lot of effort in towards B. They put a lot of work getting through that initial choke. And they don't really have much on the rest of the map. See some pressure here onto moves who they know is soloing C. That's what they're looking for here onto Mound. But they've moved so much resource now over to Mound that Infiltrator's able to just kind of walk into the back of Spawn, but it's just not quite enough for him. Blast is going to be there to pick it up instead. A second. This Omen has really been shooting the lights out for the team, and the trend continues. Another lamp shattered, so 3K picked up for the Omen. Cuz to get involved towards Mound. And who knows what it is, just a slower round from Fisher. They wait it out. Winthrop gets jumpy, and Fisher hits some headshots.
So Winthrop trying to mix it up there, obviously, with some B aggression on Fisher's buy round, thinking, oh, hey, they're not going to be contesting B with the long-range weaponry, so maybe we can try and mix things up a little bit. There's a bit of a mistiming here, so Nazi's going to find the back turn from Blast a little bit wide on the spray, so Momiji takes it down, and that's the first round for Fisher.
Yeah, Fisher going to convert. Really just comes down to solid patience and Spawn there. Just let Winthrop beat themselves. And we haven't seen them play past the actual Spawn threshold yet. They've gotten close. They pushed the chokes pretty heavily, but they haven't actually taken that space. And the first time they do, they're going to live to regret it. So Winthrop yet again going to set back up here towards Root, but of mind games going down. They played fast into Link. Infiltrator jumped in, assuming, okay, maybe that util dump is done. So it's up to Fisher to really take their time here in Root, or they'll be in for a bad surprise.
very patient here is Winthrop, having learned a bit of their lesson. But Moops has already walked out all the way on mound, taken 2 down before Win equalizes. Well, silences him, we'll say. 4-1 is the round score. It's a 4-on-3 man advantage for Winthrop, and the shocks are coming through. Infiltrator's looking to run down Blast before he gets out of there. That is the paranoia down. Ali up close and personal with the Sheriff, takes down Cuz.
And picked up Vandal.
Survival smoke for himself, but do they know that Huynh has gotten into water? Has a lineup on 2 of them and gets the headshots on both. Things are a little bit tricky now. Fisher, this wrench in the works. Win on for the ace. Can he get it done? Spike's going to go down. It would be up to Flare. The pre-aim is there from Blast, but does he know? The swing out from the smoke is handled perfectly by Flare, and a second round to Fisher on the back of some heroics from Win.
Fisher better not be in the lab. I'm AFK right now. And I'm banging on my teammate. Why'd you take that? He's got a pistol. There's plenty of time. Just let me swing and get my ace, bro. But, you know, bigger things on the line.
Yeah, this
trying to make it Texas. I get it. I get it. No shenanigans. I get it. I get it. It is yet again some shenanigans from Fisher. It comes down to really just headshots again around that. I think Winthrop plays well defensively. They're in the right space. They've got everybody there on the rotate to B. And then next thing you know, it's a solid lineup from the breach. 2 people are dead, and the round is no longer in their favor.
Yeah, that survival smoke goes both ways, right? You're protecting your players from line of sight, but you're also cutting off your own. And Ali takes down Cuz and Win on the repeat. Okay. Excellent from Winthrop. They've been so good on these opening duels to get man advantages.
Gonna try to smoke to get Spike back here for Fisher. Not expecting the extra man of contact there that they got up towards B-Link. That's cost them. Blast usually able to shoot their way back into the round. This time not the case. Infiltrator gonna shut that one down early. Mamaji more than stunned here. Gonna get re-stunned. Looking to throw the fault lines as well. And Infiltrator, yeah, you're gone. It's an aftershock, a fault line. Fully disrupted off the position. And now we've got a Clove in a 1v5. It would take a miracle.
Well, the last time we said it would take a miracle, there were a pair of Guardian headshots. There were some rifles recovered. There was a round made of it. And if Sogo actually took that first shot, little did he know he would have had it. Infiltrator's going to swing off the back of that breach line, and it's a flawless round for Winthrop.
And that's what I like to see, right? They know it's a 1v5. They know exactly where that Clove's going to be. They still do the due diligence. They throw in breach util first after the recharges. They guarantee themselves the kill. They don't lose any weaponry here. The econ would be rougher if they had to rebuy. They haven't won enough rounds in a row after those 2 from Fisher to really solidify the next couple rounds of buys. I like the decision making there to do their due diligence. We don't always see that, especially from collegiate teams when they are up. So the respect still given to their opponent there, and probably because of what you just mentioned, the fact that some of these rounds have gone finagled back.
Yeah, the aim, the mechanical aim from Fisher, I mean, from both of these teams obviously are 2 teams to watch, if you will, in this last chance qualifier, especially in this bracket. Infiltrator taking down Sogo on
Finally,
top of
he gets it.
Yeah, these are teams to watch, right? The peek through the smoke, Ali getting a little bit too impatient. Cuz is going to rocket his way out of there, and he's going to take down Nazi as well before Ali's res is enough to take down Cuz. Infiltrator getting stuck a little bit on the door is going to mean that Winthrop has the main advantage, but they have shifted far away from the site. The Cypher Cam, yeah, perfect, like you were talking about. Good information. Moves knows that they're already across the line, but Momiji is ready for the repeak, and now it's a 3-on-3, and Fisher has positional.
T-Bolt's online is not going to connect, though, but will at least move players off of sight. So there's some space for Winthrop to work down the staircase here. Overdrive for Infiltrator as well. That's shut down, and again, it's on with headshots. Mamaji setting up on site. They got space in staircase. That's good placement. They got no choice but to work down, and, well, happy to rush it. They get both frags instead. No pressure there. No fear. As Blast gonna walk into a 1v2. Looking for the Clove, has it, but Flare, great job to get off Spike, to refrag that with the teammate. Winthrop yet again up by 4.
I'm really surprised actually to have seen the Armageddon investment there from Fisher, and at the very least for them not to be ready for the flood of Winthrop out from stairs, and that's going to spark a timeout immediately.
Yeah, I mean, I think the use case is good. They've got help outside of B door. They've got a player right on the top of site. They've got a good crossfire setup. It just comes down to you got to win the fights.
But the speed, right? It's the speed, right, at which Winthrop are getting out of there, and the players who make it out of the smoke are it's Ollie and it's Flare, right? But the Clove with the enhanced movement speed after getting the kill, and did the Clove still have the heal up? I'm not exactly sure, but it is a quick agent, and Flare right behind him for the trades. It was nice team play from Winthrop for sure.
So it's in the Fisher timeout. Some of these rounds just been difficult from the jump. That round comes down to Infiltrator has been a menace over towards B. Finally got the Clove early. It's taken a couple rounds, let's say, to win that gunfight. But does win so here. So yet again, back to the drawing board of, okay, how much pressure do we put towards B? And if we put pressure towards B, then we can't put pressure on Root. And if we put pressure on Root and on B, we can't put any pressure on the Cypher setup C. So a juggling act for sure for this offense thus far. They're going to go back to the drawing board on this one. And this round, not really indicative of what that timeout was about. We've got 2 Buckies, and we're going straight B side.
Yep, and I would assume that Winthrop is very ready for this Fisher aggression. It would be interesting to see if they'll break the defensive utility here and then be slower about it. But Cuz is rocketing straight into the site. He's going as quickly as humanly possible. Hobbit is already broken, but Cuz has this close angle with the Bucky. And all of Winthrop just going to be real patient on this retake.
Absolutely. And they've been great on the retake thus far this game as well. The only danger here is where these shotguns position. And if they're on the money, the team will start to work their way out towards heaven. Really good play with that aftershock to try to get them back off the angle. Unfortunately, though, it does lead them straight into frads. Clover 5 into trouble. Ali's got that one, Flare another. And it's just Mama G who is getting sprayed down by rockets. And Infiltrator will come in to finish the job. Winthrop up 5.
Winthrop is so deliberate with their utility, right? The breach fault lines being exchanged, the aftershocks being exchanged at the same time, and even a position that you thought would have been difficult for them to push, given that Fisher, the duelist of Fisher Cuz, had the Bucky at that Hobbit angle. Eventually, with all the utility that's being exchanged, there's enough chaos to where Winthrop is able to insert Ali into that angle, and he does win the fight too. So everything coming up Winthrop so far, barring a couple of mechanical outplays from Fisher.
Yeah, gun round on the way. This one really going to be a tale of how this half is going to end. If you're Fisher, this round feels like a must win. Of course, still the second half to try to work some magic back into it. But you really want to take this one.
Fisher, they found a soft spot here in this defense, actually, as Winthrop is looking to probe the extremities of the map. Infiltrator. Look at that slide back.
Oh my word. Just couldn't reset the recoil in time. Should have had a clean double there. At the very least, Flare will get it instead. That spike down and spawn. They do lose members, though, in the process on these extremities. And suddenly a repeat gone awry. That's what moves in a 1v2. A chance for a quick pick. Can't find it.
So now it's the guessing game for moves, right? You know that they're not on your site, but did they just take those kills and run straight A, or did they pause a little bit? Do you think that they worked B? And it looks like Moves has the right idea, that they have moved towards A. That drone's going to give away the ghost, and the plant's going to come down real quick.
So where these peaks come from, drone with info early. They know everything they need now. It's just a matter of a clean crossfire, and we would have been riding home about that one. Does manage to come through and find the refrag. It took a moment, and Moves couldn't quite get it done either. So they will convert. They went around. They definitely needed to grab. They've got rifles back into this one. Got to keep the winning train going here to get the score as close as possible for this halftime swap.
There was a chance, right? Given over 2 moves there. If he hits the instant transfer and he headshots Cuz there, it's a phenomenal clutch. I mean, 8-2 in such devastating fashion, but 7-3, Fisher have a chance to work this back, like you said, into a manageable half.
They'll look to do so yet again with this 2-prong default. It's effort towards B. They were looking for tripwire last round. There wasn't one to be had. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to push blast here just to kill Trip and get away. Hasn't come to fruition just yet. Root util's gone. Infiltrator caught with a bolt in his hand. Does manage to stay alive for now. Drone gonna just reconfirm information they already had. Decent smoke to get out because jumps up rock, picks up 1. Ali looking to respawn. As Nazi comes through, picks up 2. That's big. Armageddon in the backline forces them forward, but not enough to grab picks for the defense just yet. Now Flare still continuing the effort here. Looking for one more, can't find it. And it's 2 very low HP bars for both flex players. That's Nazi just gonna let Spike get gathered here. Gonna play for time.
A shot either way. It doesn't matter how you find the angle, it just matters that you hit the shot. This is sudden death. I mean, you could take him out with a sidearm if you really wanted to.
Yeah, just breathe on the opponent and hope that your lips were puckered first. So walk for Nazi around, guarantees nothing. C. Blast taking their time. Start to push this one to site now. 20 remains, just 4 for the plant. Knows we're going to get it done here. Want to clear every single angle. I'm nervous here if they look tree as well, which they do. You certainly have to. But now you've given a lot of time for this breach to be exactly where they want to be. If Blast doesn't go tree, I'm nervous.
It was also worth noting that Blast had the Omen ult to work with, and Nazi peeks around the corner. Instant headshot. Not even necessary, but an 8-3 half so far for Winthrop. I was surprised, actually. Blast very, very deliberate with how they were playing that round. They did have the Omen ultimate. I figured they were going to fake it out, maybe look towards the opposite side of the map if they could fake out a sound cue from Nazi, but just too patient from Winthrop so far.
Yeah, I think that's just a great outplay from the breach there. Blast cuts noise for about 30 seconds, hoping that it'll get this breach to rotate. And Nazi just does their due diligence of, I'll just check the whole map. I'll just walk over to see. Well, you're not there. There's no noise. That means you're clearly still A. And then all the way back in their spawn as well, an angle you're just not looking for if you're the Omen. I mean, already looking to staircase there. That timing works perfectly in their favor. And it comes down to just, you do your due diligence, you check all the angles, but it actually ends up being your demise in that situation. It's now Winthrop up 5 in this next round. Looking to now go up 1 more before we switch the half.
Fisher death falling, right? Very different approach here, but the breach ultimate is going to come through to stop some of that aggression from Infiltrator. Moves is going to swing out on the back of it. Yeah.
That's tough. That flash comes through just a bit too late. It means the free 1v1 there for the Cypher back at site. Sogo picks up 2 with the Sheriff shut down now as Infiltrator looking to finish the job. Will infiltrate the round for Winthrop as they take it 9-3, up 6 at halftime. And they've now got the Neon on offense.
And I mean, Winthrop might have struggled on this map yesterday, but so far, it is important to note this game is not over yet, even if the half is. So far, they have looked very, very good on this defender side of Lotus, something that, you know, a lot of other teams might have struggled with. This being, you know, as theoretically attacker-sided as it has been in the past.
Yeah, they've looked incredible, and they've done a fantastic job of playing retake. It really can become a pseudo offense if you're able to keep players and utility alive, and they've done a phenomenal job of doing that, recognizing when they need to give space away and not really having to in a lot of those rounds with early control. It's fantastic stuff from this team defensively. Now they have the chance to actually play the offense. Infiltrator already looking to put the moves on him, hasn't found a pick just yet and won't do so, but 2 teammates will.
More patience. So I say more patience, but Moves and Flare are just going to hit a pair of headshots, and now it's all on Cuz, who's 2 bullets from being out of this round. Winthrop looking to secure double digits in dominant fashion here in the first map of this best of 3. They're looking real good on their map pick.
Yeah, definitely could echo that sentiment. As Cuz caught by a cam here, you know exactly where this player's coming from. We've got the high-low setup. Moves gonna sit on box. It's a very close TO. Cuz into the angle. And already caught there off the shoulder. Does pick up 1 for their troubles. Flare will get a 3rd on the round. And it's 7 rounds the difference here as Winthrop take the 2nd pistol.
That's what you have to do, right? If you want to close out your map pick. I mean, starting it off with the pistol, the conversion, and then obviously since Fisher forced, you know, you instead of just stringing together a quick 2-0 for free, you're stringing together 4. But starting and ending with the pistols, really, really nice from Winthrop. It'll be interesting to see what they do with this full buy.
I remember we got that 4-round stint very early from Winthrop off of the force up from Fisher. This time it is a Marshall for Cuz, but everything else going to be relatively light. Almost an early flick, and well, the Marshall's down. They smoke it so they can get it back, but not the start you were hoping for defensively here if you wanted to sneak something out of this round. It's going to be route fully controlled by Winthrop, and they'll take their time here, making sure they're not walking into anything silly.
Winthrop's patience on this attack side with all their guns, very, very nice to see. You know, with some lesser teams, you might have seen the acceleration coming through off of that opening pick on stairs. But Winthrop is more than happy to just let Fisher drop their utility in places where they don't necessarily have information. They can just sit back, let Moobs probe around the map a little bit more, knowing full well that if he finds this pick across the map, they can just rotate at any time. I say as Infiltrator runs straight into Tree, and all the utility in the world is going to be dropped into that choke. Flair's going to get a pair as Blast takes down Infiltrator. It's all up to the backside player, and he will be found out by Flair, but not before taking down one more of his own. So good of Fisher to get a pair of them on that eco. You can't ask for too much more given how that round started, but it was a clean finish from Winthrop.
It's time we open a dialogue on stuns. The amount of shots I see still connect crispy to heads and concussions is certainly something.
I'm with you on that.
No less though, Winthrop will pick up the round. A crucial gun round. I feel like I've said this before, and Fisher were able to convert it. Can they do so again? This one could mean the end of the game if it does not go their way.
Well, and Fisher is trying to mimic some of the aggression that Winthrop had outside of A main, but the all Winthrop once again like it did on the A site. In the defender side, Infiltrator finds timing. One more. Yeah, and Moobs takes down Sogo as well. It's all up to Momiji, and he's stuck in stairs. There's nothing he can really do about it, and he's going to be run down by Flair in the stairs. 12-3, map point to Winthrop already. This has been a fast one from them.
Yeah. It has certainly been of a quickened pace. Fisher gonna buy what they can here. Weren't able to convert the gun round. Fortunately, the loss bonus rather large. So they're gonna grab what they can. This is gonna be a tough round, though, I think, nonetheless. And you know, I may have talked a little trash. You know, I may have said that it's been a tough map for Winthrop throughout the split, but certainly one of the best on it in collegiate, and proving why. Here in this one, Fisher, a fantastic team, but just getting throttled right now, and it's by the likes of this guy. Infiltrator in the door, has space on the C side. It feels like every first blood of this half has been Infiltrator just getting in and getting the job done.
And it's so difficult for Fisher to work their way back into this. How do you play against being totally smoked off? You're at a gun disadvantage. Blast finds Flair through that smoke. Ollie pops through to find the trade, though, and he goes a little bit further, taking down Momiji as well with the wallbang headshot. 4-on-2, Winthrop looking all but poised to close this map out early and send Fisher back to the drawing board.
Fez trying to shoot him back into it. Decent fault line from him. Has a flash now to work with as well. He's going to get caught, though, by Infiltrator because has one on the round already. We need 3 to win it. Push their way up towards site here. Does have this early smoke to try to play to bend. One to clear all this extra space first. That's given time now for a refrag to be here. Not even going to be necessary. Now just 2 shots to the body. That'll finish the map. It's 13-3 for Winthrop. They're looking to go to Texas.
That is as dominant of a showing on your map pick as you could really possibly have asked for. I mean, there were a couple of rounds that might have been a little bit shaky. They came down to individual moments. They came down to 1-on-1s, 2-on-2s in the dying stages of the round. But Winthrop looking very, very convincing on their map pick.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, you say those rounds, they're shaky. It feels like 2 rounds that are won there for the side of Fisher are genuinely won from a Hunt 3K, a Blast 2K. It's literally just players coming out the woodwork and finding frags. And that's genuinely how they win those rounds. And when it comes to team play, when it comes to anything that's macro-based, it's Winthrop all day. Straight to the bank. Just phenomenal showing from this team.
They looked fantastic, and honestly, if you take a look at, I know you at home can't necessarily see the end game stats, the post game stats, but all of Winthrop's players, you know how you have all 10 of them stacked up like this, end on end on end. All 5 Winthrop players are the top 5 in the game, and all of the Fisher players, the bottom half of that table. It's an unfortunate graph for them, but they'll look to reset as they move on to their map pick. I believe it's Icebox.
Yep.
That we're looking forward to.
Yeah, they played a great Icebox throughout this bracket. They play a great Icebox as a roster. And this Fisher Navy team has shown that they've got what it takes to hit shots when it matters. When we go to this verticality, when it comes to needing to hit shots, they certainly can do it. But they're going to have to prove it after a short break. When we come back, one team goes to Texas, one goes home. We'll see you there.
Welcome back, everyone. We are minutes away from getting into map 2 here between Fisher and Winthrop. And for those of you who might not have been watching, you missed a very dominant win by Winthrop. They looked phenomenal in all three phases, A, B, and C. Not even phases on all the sites. They're winning fights. And there was very little that Fisher could do, barring some miraculous headshots that a few of their players hit in a few rounds. So, Kat, what do you want to see from Fisher as we move here onto map 2, Icebox, the pick of Fisher, of course?
We've got to see just I want to say maybe slower gameplay. I feel like the couple rounds that we saw were the fact that they gave themselves enough time to kind of beat Winthrop in terms of gunfights. But the issue with that ends up being, right, you want to play proactive and not reactive. So sitting in spawn offensively is tough, especially if Winthrop doesn't give you those early looks, which they didn't a lot of rounds defensively. It's a matter of if they can make better adjustments. They took a timeout, weren't able to win rounds afterwards. So just got to be a bit cleaner here. At the very least, they don't have to deal with the Infiltrator Neon here. This is a map that they've played pretty much every series in this bracket. They've won. But Winthrop yesterday played it against Cumberland and won it there 13-8. And that's probably been their biggest oppression throughout this bracket before getting to this Fisher team. So I think a lot of it is going to end up being macro TK. It's a question of if Fisher can come match the level that Winthrop has shown us.
So do you have players to watch? Because, I mean, the picks here going to see basically mirrored, right? You see 4 out of 5, now 5 out of 5, exact same compositions looking like it'll be for Winthrop and Fisher. Do you have players to watch?
I've got 2 for you. I've got 2 for you. And you got to watch them in tandem. It's gonna, without a doubt, this comes down to moves versus Sogo, without a doubt. It comes down to what value can you get playing Reyna as a pseudo initiator, and how many frags can you find. Moves coming off of what was a Cypher game that was 12-11, but still had 3 first bloods on the defensive end. Sogo, on the other hand, no first bloods. 4-16 last map on the Clove, now flexing over to the pseudo initiator of Reyna. They've got to have value here if this team is going to convert, because we know a couple of these rounds came purely down to firepower coming into these 1v1 duels.
And Winthrop, I mean, whether it's been utility, whether it's been firepower, whether it's been headshots, A main, B main, etc., they've had it all under wraps, it feels like. So Fisher going to need a big resurgence here in order to make this a competitive series. For their sake, and for the sake of the viewers, obviously, I sure hope that we do get a competitive affair between these two teams here. All right, 15 seconds approximately until round 1 here. We're going to get straight underway. Winthrop, a win here sends them on to Texas. A loss here takes us to map 3, and it is anyone's series. Kat, what do you want to see here?
Revealing area.
This first fight is what I want to see. It's going to be a lot of implications for the future. Cuz will win the duel. That's a big 1v1 picked up early for this Fisher team, and they're going to need more of that throughout this series. Flair jumping in to a Poison Cloud, able to convert one. Nazi has Cuz back. That one comes through the boxing as well. As Moves getting the job done from lower, but here comes Sogo. Gonna trade that one back. Got some overheal now, like they've got shields into this round. As Winthrop going to respect this space, similar to how we saw on Lotus. They'll back it up. They'll recognize they've got the man advantage. Let's just play the retake.
Look how patient Winthrop's players are. They're basically just holding the perimeter, right? You see all 3 exits for this site, and now with that gunfire and with the knowledge that Fisher has stepped so far onto site, the Viper's going to start making their way up as Flair takes down Win. Sogo, one of the players that you highlighted to watch, he needs to quad kill his way out of this round. The headshots have been good so far. What more can Sogo find? Does he know where Ali is? He seems to have a pretty good idea of where the Viper is. He's going to make a little bit of noise as he makes his way back on the site. Checks the corner.
Oh, that's free.
Sees it. Oh, not quite. Nazi. The quick flick back over. The Deagle headshot to take Sogo out of the round. 3 for 3 now are Winthrop on pistols. It's been a pretty clear theme for this series so far.
Oh, that is rough, man. It's in his hands, but he just can't quite grip on. Sogo with a free look to Nazi there. Then he just got to turn for the last. You know exactly where Ali is as well, but just couldn't quite find the head. That micro adjustment not there. It means Winthrop, as you mentioned, a 3rd pistol converted. They've been good to snowball those in the past. Fisher yet again is attacking side. They want to play for this force buy. Winthrop should be sniffing it out. That's how last map went.
And I hesitate to use the word greedy as moves kill
He's
Sogo instantly. The trade not there. Flare, Nazi get 2 more, and Win finally takes down moves, but it's too late. You have to think the damage has been done. Winthrop with a 4-on-2 man advantage and the gun advantage. I hesitated to say it was greedy before to keep 2 players on the Sheriffs here in this round, but Winthrop making it work so far.
And I want to say that it's moves too far there, but it's honestly played to perfection, recognizing they've got 2 screens there. So move's gonna walk and get the first. Does have to come out of dismiss right in front of the player's heaven, but you know those players are gonna greed for it, for that trade back the other direction. So gets trade, takes their life away, but they guarantee that Flare and Nazi on the back of sight can shoot 2 back. So the mind games come through for Winthrop. They convert very nicely. They shut a force buy down with no trouble. They get free weapon upgrades. At least one will get the weapon upgrade here, as someone will give the moves the Spectre. So a ton of value for Winthrop in that round alone. And around, they're gonna win here too, so a chance yet again to start this game 4-0.
Well, let's not count our ecos before they've hatched. We saw a couple of rounds going Fisher's way. Okay. Infiltrator killing Mamiji
it's hatching
right off the bat. Cause with the number of opportunities, he's not hitting any of them. Move's gonna kill Blast off our screen. A second one as he continues to shut down this A main aggression. Infiltrator is finally gonna take down his opposite number in Cause, and Moves just walking around, taking as much time as he needs. Sogo with the opportunity to find one, takes his eyes off the prize, and Nazi shuts him out of the round. A 3rd round for Winthrop. This is the pattern we were talking about. 3 for 3 on pistols, 3 for 3 on the eco conversions, against the force buy, and now 3 for 3 on those eco conversions. Can Winthrop stay the course here against the first buy round from Fisher?
Yeah, now they've got the chance to go 2 for 2 on a late bonus round, as moves will yet again pick up an actual rifle going into this one. This is a round that if you win as Winthrop, you're econ set for at least the next 4. You've got a lot of space and a lot of control yet again early into a map. Fisher, a must-win round here.
It's crazy to say must win in the context of this 3-0 start here, but this is
yeah,
Fisher's
3-0 map for
this
sure.
is Fisher's map pick, and Winthrop have looked so dominant so far. Moves on this elevated angle. It's going to be difficult to clear. The drone probably not going to make it far enough, so Moves is in position. Going to be forced off by that eye, though, so that is good clearing, and Blast gives Fisher the man advantage, and a little bit of damage onto Moves, so Fisher, this is the best position they've been in to start a round.
Emperor's still up for Moves here, looking to get the refresh going. They're going to get a walk up here towards tunnel as well. Some spacing for Fisher. So much so they may even call this one off. It's a matter of what Mamiji can find, and is able to convert one.
Ali has made his way past that angle, and Mamiji is quick on that kill. So the rotation being gained for Fisher, the 5-on-2 situation. Infiltrator would have to find something incredible here as he pops out of the smoke decayed, but there's no players to headshot yet. He's going to be just sitting here and waiting for Fisher to make his way forward. Say that. He pops out of the smoke.
Nobody watching plant. Infiltrator able to take that one down, and next thing you know, this round almost back in defensive control. Moves will get 2, and still no time for the plant. Spike carrier down yet again. And you can just wait if your Infiltrator wanted the swing instead. The ego might cost them this one, but it certainly won't here. The Viper will fall. Infiltrator, no fear, holds the angle, and it's an 8 HP diff. It's 4-0 for Winthrop.
And your player to watch, right? You were talking about Moves as being that man to watch here. The switch onto the Reyna, the 3K coming through in that round. Headshots only on that B site looking like deathmatch. Incredible work here from Winthrop to bring that back from a 2-on-4 to a 1 HP clutch. Incredible stuff from them.
Yeah, without a doubt, econ broken yet again now for Fisher and Winthrop. Oh boy, are they feeling comfortable. They'll chill out here. No op put into this round, I assume, because they've been playing pretty hard onto these retakes. Moves yet again going to play for early spacing under the initial containers as Infiltrator. He's got the Viper out of this round. The smoke presence is now done with for Fisher. So they're just going to have to try to stockpile this one onto the ace side. Everybody to push in. Moves will grab one, dismiss away, and Nazi now can convert off the bait and switch.
A couple of headshots coming through from Fisher makes it still competitive as Win kills Flare one more time. It would have to be a pretty impressive clutch, but Win was good for it, right? One of those rounds that Fisher actually managed to take it was Win with a number of headshots. making it happen. Silent drop down that rope, rifle
Plenty of
recovery.
rifles.
Yeah, it's only 2 bullets here. Can he make this AK sing? He's gonna make it sing
2
by
bullets.
reloading it instead.
I don't think he finished the reload. Yeah, has to start the reload again, and that's giving Ollie plenty of time, plenty of sound cues, able to grab that one off the plant. It's good spacing yet again for Winthrop. They've been great about these macro plays, know exactly where to be and what time to be there. It's Fisher back to the drawing board. Timeout going to come through here in round number 6. Hopefully, the adjustments will come through.
It looks like the adjustment is cuz operator. So let's see if they can find an opening pick with that one. Fisher have had similar man situations, and on the attack side, that's something that you'll accept, I'm pretty sure. But like Winthrop have just looked so much more dominant. They've closed out rounds where they have the advantage, and they've muscled their way back in, even when it looks like they shouldn't have any chance. Is this a timeout for tactical reasons, or is this more to preserve how the Fisher players are feeling?
Is that not a tactical reason?
Well, I mean, I would sort that into being more of an emotional reason personally.
Okay.
It's up to you.
I think it could be both at the same time as well. I think some of it comes to let's slow the game down, right? We've been walking in and losing gunfights, and I think there definitely is a let's stay calm, guys. Let's remember what we're playing for. Let's get the job done. I also think some of it comes down to the fact that they're pushing early extremities, haven't got a lot of space, haven't really got a lot of value off the Viper, so much so that the Viper's usually dead in mid early, so can't get any value off their executes. They've run one fake. They flipped the map one time. It did work in their favor, and I guess not really a fake, more so they let this Viper get mid control and get space. It's a matter of if they can work tactically off of mid, because it feels like the only round they've been able to get a chance at came down to mid control, which they have not been able to sustain.
Smoke drop is brutal. Momiji gets the first, but Infiltrator has the trade. Cuz's op rings out across the map as well. 3-on-3 now as Winthrop look to shift their defense towards the B site. Fisher patient, and they're going to, it looks like they're going to lean towards B, where Winthrop has already moved their operator.
Yeah, good read coming through from Infiltrator right now. Plenty of time for Fisher. No vision denial though, so they've got to do a lot of work here off of one cloud burst or some sharp shooting. And Winthrop gonna opt to hold retake on everything. They've got to look towards mid, they've got to look towards B site, and they've got moves early over towards A. So they definitely have spacing here, have info on all sides. Infiltrator just gonna hold the initial plant spot. It's a quick reaction time needed for the shot, and no trouble. Spikes down, info gained. Might take a second through the smoke. Oh, an adjustment. That is just so crispy. Cuz caught out there, out-opt by Infiltrator. It took milliseconds to convert that one as Nazi will finish the job. It's 6-0.
Winthrop, man. What can you say? I mean, from an individual standpoint, they're all showing up to play, but also from a team standpoint, it looks like they have the reads, they have the calls perfectly planned out. Fisher playing straight into their trap so far. It's going to take a monumental adjustment from them in order to make this a competitive half, you feel like. Look at the buy, look at the economy for Fisher.
Yeah, so I mentioned before, coming into that round 4 round, that they had to pick up or it was going to be trouble. They couldn't do so. They come out the timeout. They can't pick up that round either. You're absolutely right. They're sitting and doing their best to tread water, but slowly running out of breath. As Infiltrator looking to continue putting pressure on the lungs. Cuz will fall, moves another, and you can see the tone start to shift here. Winthrop much more comfortable taking a lot more aggressive fights, and well, they're winning them.
Fisher locked out of this round. There's no other words for it. Nazi and moves one more time. Flawless round for Winthrop. It felt like they didn't take damage that round.
And this is where you start to get nervous as Fisher. It's one thing for you to lose in the executes, another thing to lose before the default can even get room. Winthrop now starting to feel comfortable. The adjustment we saw on Lotus for Fisher was they slowed the pace down. They let Winthrop play themselves into trouble. I don't know if this team is going to give you the grace of that this go around, and if they do, I don't know if they're gonna lose these more aggressive fights. We'll see right here as Infiltrator gonna take a zip straight down towards A.
You see the pings coming out on the map. This Fisher is definitely emphasizing the importance of this mid control as Moobs kills Sogo one more time. The Reyna diff cannot be understated right now, but Moobs is looking for more. He almost has a lineup, but he's going to continue pushing into this angle. Finally shut down by Momiji. But the damage already done. Fisher with the man advantage. They have so much space on this map, and Infiltrator is already posted up on this A line.
And there's an extra aggression I mentioned from Winthrop a map ago that gave Fisher 1 and then 2. So they've gotten themselves 1 early here, but can they snowball this into a round win? A fight brewing in mid between the KJs. Neither player fully into the angle. No commitment just yet. So that fight delayed for a moment. It's going to come through here. Flair has the advantage, has some fire, but not enough to grab the pick. That's mid control picked up now for Fisher.
Blast can hit this headshot, as I say, as Flair immediately turns it right back. There was an opportunity there. If Blast could have hit that headshot, there is a fast rotation available through mid. Momiji does find the refrag. He's been good for that both sides. Nazi has made his way past A, but Win has timed him. The jump spot.
Oh, he jumped.
The information has been gained both ways. Win is panicking a little bit. Infiltrator looking for the fight. But some movement's going to find his way into backside. But Nazi with the rewrap from main is going to shut down the only point of... The only threat, we'll say, that Fisher really had in this round. It's all up to Momiji, who had been spotted earlier, and the pings come through. They know he's coming from screens. Infiltrators posted on this line. The shot goes a little wide, but there's no time left for the spike to go down, and Nazi secures it.
Bro, Win came in like the walls of Jericho were coming down, blowing trumpets, making so much noise on site. You mentioned they're panicking on the zip line over. They give so much info over. Infiltrator didn't even need to peek, just held him at bay, knowing Nazi was there after that initial jump spot to come back onto it. That really shuts down the round before it has the chance to really get started. Max loss bonus means Fisher will rebuy into this one. They've got to stop the bleeding, and it's not going to be a band-aid to do it. We need a full gauze pad. We need a roll of gauze out here, and we need it now. They've got to find themselves around here as they're going to look to push more aggressive on towards A.
This is an interesting change up here from Winthrop. Obviously, you have the you have Infiltrators op being posted mid, and now they're being a little bit more patient now on this A line. Moobs has the aggressive angle, but he's not really going for too much more other than that. He finds the first, but Sogo with the kill onto Nazi keeps it even. Moves with one more before he's traded back by Cuz. So Infiltrator has to find something on this peak. The smokes from the jet are good, and all you have to do is be patient and wait for this KJ util to pop.
So
the Infiltrator has been so good for it this game, man.
I mean, these tiny angles, so difficult. The reactions have to be so fast, and the adjustments as well, and Infiltrator has had no trouble. Flair's going to finish this round. It's 9-0 for Winthrop, and if you had to guess whose map pick it was, I don't think you're picking the right answer.
Yeah, it feels like Winthrop has had 2 map picks, honestly, with how aggressive and how dominant they've been. I can't even say on both halves so far, because it's 9-0, and it's just the defender side for Winthrop. I mean, you're seeing definitely why they chose to start on this side, but it hasn't really, I hesitate to say it, but Winthrop, they're making Fisher look uncompetitive so far.
Yeah, without a doubt. This Fisher Navy roster, they've tried to take timeouts, they've tried to make adjustments, but it has just been a stone wall thus far. See if the trends can shift here. It's Sogo early. Great Lear. Able to pick up moves. That's been a thorn in the side, but this operator now still out to play. It's on a close angle. Does manage to pick up a Vandal. Can't get anything done. Momiji will catch it. Plant's going to go down here for Fisher. And they've got all the room in the world. A good sight flood. And this round should hopefully go their way.
Maybe I should call Fisher uncompetitive more often. I mean, there we go. That's the fire you want to see in this match. I mean, Winthrop, Nazi's going to get one more back before Sogo trades him out on Heaven, so it's all up to Ali, and taken clean out the round by Sogo. There we go from Fisher. There's some life from them as they pick up their first round.
Yeah, breathtaking there for Fisher. A round when they certainly needed it. They can take 2 more. They've got at least some better odds here. The closer they can get the deficit, the better. But the bleeding halted at this moment. They played this hard flood towards A, expecting there's a chance Winthrop may bring the extra player. They did not. But it still means that the pacing going to be shifted from the offense here. They're looking much more aggressively in towards mid. They're pushing that default back. And that might cost them in this round. The slow pace has not been in their favor.
Well, it's more like, I think it's not necessarily the pacing of Fisher so much as just the the ability for Winthrop to always come out ahead in these opening situations. If Fisher has actually found their way to even man advantages, or sorry, even man situations, they've played their way onto the site just fine, and then it's come down to gunfights. There you go, Sogo with the opening kill, and Cuz killing Infiltrator in the back of site as well. Those shots coming through from Fisher put a lot of pressure here onto Winthrop to try and rescue Nazi.
Yeah, he'll be dead in the water. It's 2 picked up for Fisher, the last to go with it now. Sogo to convert yet again. Gonna have the final frag in a round. And everybody stays alive. That's what you need here in this situation to keep that econ cooking to the end of the half, and they've certainly been able to do just that. So full buy back out for this team, looking to take one more and keep that momentum pushing into the second pistol.
Well, I mean, you were talking about round 3, Kat, being a must-win round for Fisher. This is every bit as important for them going into this with the 3rd round, and then you must win the pistol. I mean, it would have to be the first pistol of this series for Fisher's side, but you need to win this round. How do you go about doing it? Probably with another man advantage. They've had good success now working up towards A on a bit of a delayed timing. The Hunter's Fury is going to come out, and Sogo's going to take down moves before Nazi trades him back with a kill onto Blast. Ollie's taken all the space up towards B. Does he know how close the first player from Fisher is? Maybe spots the shoulder.
Got the shoulder.
Yeah, he does. Instant flick before Cuz trades it right back through the smoke. Bladestorm's going to come out from the jet, dashing straight forward onto the site. Smoke wall isn't up yet, but Cuz can play ahead of it if he wishes. He's going to be a little bit patient, waiting for Win to get this plant down. He finds the angle at the window, but he doesn't quite hit the knives. He's going to keep one in the chamber, and he's going to switch back to the op.
Early swing. Nothing spotted. Flare going to push these players to have to play towards yellow now, which gives control back to Winthrop, who slowly start to chomp away. Flare to pick up one. Infiltrator out with the knives, and Cuz head clean taken off. Looking for one more. Right click not on the money. So in alive with 50 HP on site. There's the first. Hits it. Needs one more, but Nazi's refrag is too strong. Just run and guns it. Hits the wall bang. Gets the job done. Defuse going to come through. And Winthrop at the half lead 10-2.
So this is looking about as dominant, right, as that last half, or sorry, as the last game was. I mean, it was a 9-3 half last game, 10-2 this time. Fisher, all the pressure of this tournament run is coming down to this. You need to win this pistol round. Kat, how would you approach this one if you were on Fisher's side? I know it's tough,
I'd
right?
like to see them play much slower for sure. I think they've had some aggressive pistols here on the defensive side. I think they've played pretty close on contact, hoping to win the initial fights. I mean, it comes down to you put Ghost in your hands. You just need that one headshot most of the time to get the job done. And they're going to play this one, I feel like, still pretty aggressive. They're pushing players down tunnel. They're going to look to try to get behind them here. If they do push this A site, which it looks like that is going to be the call. So it's up to Blast not to do too much here. That's this solo player on site.
Infiltrator taking this early space here. Little does he know, actually, that it's just the Killjoy here on A before the fast rotate comes through. Exec wall comes down from Winthrop as they just wait out the smokes, moves, takes down Sogo over the smoke already. Winthrop is ziplining their way onto site, but all of Fisher is already here. Blast and Cuz trading back before moves, and Ali and Win and Flare. All the kills lighting up this feed right now. Win must clutch 1v2. First headshot is his, but Flare a little bit too quick with that right click. 4 for 4 are Winthrop on pistols. 2 rounds from Texas.
Really good read on the refrag. Just wasn't quite enough to get the job done for that last player for Fisher. And Winthrop, as mentioned, now 2 rounds away, and well, they've been good about winning the post pistol in the round thereafter. The red carpet laid out is a matter of if they can walk down it.
Man, this is very, very difficult scenes for Fisher. The force buy has to come through, right? Your tournament life is on the line, but it's sheriffs, it's a Bucky, it's regen shields. There's nothing super lots to take care of here. Infiltrator with the opening pick onto Cuz and damage onto Win. There's damage too on Sogo as well. Infiltrator making his way onto site before Blast shuts him out of the round. It is even man so far, but it's 11-2. It's gun advantage. It's Winthrop with all the positioning in the world. Flare gonna wallbang Win out the round. Nazi posted on this screen's angle. No repeat going to come through. Spike's gonna go down. They're patient as ever. Sogo gets one onto Ali. Nazi trades back Blast though. Fisher has to hit an instant headshot if they want to reclaim this round, but how do you find your way back into this? The Winthrop player is so posted, the information gained, you know where both of them are. Patient. Patient is Momiji. Breaks the util. There we go. A little bit labored. Sogo taking down Flare. Nazi equalizes. Back to 2-on-1. The drone comes through. Momiji spotted by the drone and tagged. You have to assume this round is all but finished. Nazi's going to peek his way through. Gonna wrap all the way around, see if he can deny that last rifle from Fisher. No saves allowed here. Nazi cleans them up, and they are on series point, Texas point here, 12-2.
Nazi with an intellectual grasp on that round the entire way through. Early dart to get them in the door, a secondary dart for info on that player back of sight, and the drone to go with it, making sure the Viper has nowhere to go, and if they opt to move into space, they know exactly what space they're headed to. Just no chance to get anything going there. The watchful eye on them the entire way through, and Winthrop looking to push this round down the throats of Fisher straight towards A.
Winthrop does actually still have the potential for a rotation here. If Moobs and Nazi didn't find the opening kills, they have a 4-on-3. They have the gun advantage still. Cuz running around, trading it back to equalize it. 3 apiece. Infiltrator quick on his heels, though, taking down the win. Flare wallbangs from EG out the round. That's it. That's it.
Yes, the team out of Rock Hill, South Carolina, the Challengers roster back to CECC for another bout. They win it in 2-0 fashion, and oh boy, do those maps look convincing.
And I'm sorry for the lack of hype there, but I mean, what, 13-2, 13-3 maps? I mean, it's really, really difficult to say anything other, but congratulations, Winthrop. That was as dominant a showing as we've seen here at CECC.
Yeah, it felt like the writing a bit on the wall after the end of map 1, no doubt. This squad said after yesterday's victory against Cumberland, they were ready for some Texas barbecue. And oh boy, did they just eat the Fisher Navy team. Certainly going to look to get some brisket on the plate when they make it back. All the fixings as well. It felt like they had everything going for them in that round.
Yeah, not just that round, right? That whole series, it felt like Winthrop had the answers. A couple of rounds going Fisher's way off the back of some unbelievable individual heroics, we'll say. Maybe Winthrop getting caught out of position, or there was a lineup one time, or there were a pair of Guardian headshots one time. Other than that, Winthrop fully in control, man. What else is there to say about it?
I mean, this team continues to compete at the highest levels of collegiate, one of the best rosters we've got. There's a reason they're a Challengers roster. Let's just say that. A pretty deep run for them as well into that split 1 playoff bracket. They always are having a top 4 appearance at CECC, top 4 last year, and that came with them also simultaneously playing CVAL playoffs in that process. So this team is everywhere. They've got absolutely unlimited stamina. They're used to playing multiple series, they're used to playing multiple opponents, and after so many reps in tier 2, you got to expect them to really lock in against these collegiate guys. That's exactly what was on display here in this final.
Well, with that series fully wrapped up and Winthrop booking their tickets to go to Texas, we've got one more series coming up for you guys. We've got Siena Heights playing against Baker. Will the Cinderella run of this 8-seed Siena Heights team continue, or will the 2-seeded Baker shut them out and call night-night on their run here? The next match will happen at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, but until then, we're going to take a little break. Thank you guys very much for watching the first map, and we'll see you in the second one.